Welcome, everyone. We're so happy to have you join us tonight on Real Talk. We ask that you would let everyone know that we're on. We're on. That's right. There's several ways that you're able to join us tonight on Real Talk. That is through Facebook Live and on YouTube. Z Andre Huff on Facebook Live, as well as Tanya Latham. You can go to both of our pages and catch the broadcast of Real Talk. We got a lot to share today, a lot to share. So tell everybody to join us. Join us, join us, join us. We're excited about what is going to take place on tonight. We do want you to comment. We want you to comment at any moment, comment, and it will definitely come up on the screen. We're going to have COVID update. We're going to talk about a lot of things that is taking place in our country. Um, Bishop Latham, how are you today?
I'm well, Reverend. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, doing pretty good. You're in the Real Talk studio. Sorry I was not able to join you today. We'll be able to join you next week. Had some things we had to handle here at the church. So you've had a wonderful week.
That I have. I've had a great week. It's been a good week. It's been a good week. And how about yourself? What kind of week have you had?
Had a good week, pretty good week. Um, Had a pretty good week. Can't
Pretty good week. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Did you do anything um, special, out of the ordinary this week?
I worked a little bit.
Okay.
I don't normally, I don't normally work, but I
You
worked a
don't
little bit.
normally work.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But you worked a little bit this week.
Father Smith, we're praying
Huh?
for you, brother, praying for your son. Hello, Dana, Jermaine. Hello, Miss Katrina Davis. As y'all come in, do speak. Hey, share it on your page. Real talk. Share this on your page. We're going to inform the people of what we have going on in our city as well as in our country. Anything you want to share with the listeners, Bishop?
Um, I do want to, before we get started tonight, I just do want to offer my condolences and my prayers to, and I make mention of this to the family of Darnell Hughley, because he was a mentor and my uh, one of my first piano teachers, and so our hearts are saddened at his transitioning, but we know that God is in control, and we just would really offer prayers to uh, Miss Juanita and the family and friends and all. And so we just ask you to lift them up in prayer, and pray for them as they are bereaved, and so many. So I really wanted to make mention of that when I started playing. Well, I go back as early as like fifth grade with Darnell Hughley, because I was in the little, I had to have the elementary talent show, and he was the person who accompanied me for the talent show. And so we just want to make mention of that, and ask your prayers, and let Miss Juanita know that we are praying for her. We're praying for the family. We're praying for friends and all. And so many bereaved families, our hearts go out to you, and we ask God's strength and peace upon you. So I just really wanted to mention that head on, so I wouldn't forget later on in the show.
You're right. And like you said, many others that he plays a major part in your life. And our prayers goes out to him, his family, as well as all the bereaved families. Please go ahead, join us, join us, join us. We're excited about what is going to take place tonight on Real Talk. That's right. Go ahead and share on your page. Go ahead, type people in to get them to join
Right,
our program tonight. Go ahead and type
right.
their name in. Let them get the notification. so that they can join us on tonight. I'm telling you, I'm excited about what is going to take place. Well, hello, my good friend, Miss Carolyn Parker. Uh, yes, hello, I always need prayer, and we're praying for you. This was the young lady that ran for mayor and actually almost became the mayor here in the city of Gaston, and she used to be our commissioner here. I'm glad to see her on as well. Go ahead, like we said, tag people, type people name in, enter
Right.
the comments, make sure they get notification that Real Talk is on. You can catch us right here on Facebook, on Z Andre Huff page, Tanya Latham's page, and if they do not have social media, tell them to go to the YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel, Z Andre Huff. Like and subscribe, and you'll be able to comment as well as view Real Talk right there. Okay? So if you're ready, we're ready. Let's go. All right, we are here. We are here. And you know we deal with first thing first. What is that? COVID update. There he is, none other than Councilman District 3, Mr. Thomas Murphy. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you all, Reverend and
We're
Bishop?
doing pretty good. I
I'm
know
Good.
well.
Cam baby
Good.
with you, and she got the TV blasting in the background.
Oh yeah. She's sitting over there in the chair now,
Okay.
listening to it. So we'll go right into it
Give us
because,
some good news.
well, I don't have any good news. This
Oh
is
my.
it's getting worse. So right now we have at Gaston Regional Medical Center we have 53 in-house patients. Okay, out of those 53, 6 people was vaccinated.
We lost you.
So
Your phone,
and if
you went out right there for a second.
can you
Tell you
hear
what
me?
we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. If you go, we got to invest in you to some ear pods or something.
I got some. I got
Yeah.
2 different ones.
Listen, tell your cheap wife to buy you some wireless ear pods.
Okay.
Reverend,
Get it.
Reverend,
Rev- Listen, you
Reverend, you're
see,
going
you
too
you
far. You don't
he's
went too
going way
far.
too far. Thank you, Bishop.
You
Thank
went
you.
too far.
Listen, I can talk about my campaign manager.
Yes, you can. You can. But okay, let me repeat that then.
Okay.
At Gaston Regional Medical Center, we have 53 in-house patients. Okay. Out of the 53 in-house patients, 6 had their shots. So they have 31 staff members that's out. Uh, Riverview has 49 in-house. 15 is in the ICU. They have 9 employees out, and they have one COVID patient that's critical that's in the ER, but they don't have anywhere to put the patient. So we have ambulances. Say if you have an emergency and you need an ambulance, when you get to the hospital, you're waiting. And then that's tied up the ambulances so they can't go and deal with the next emergency. So if you're in a wreck or whatever, so it's very important for people to get these shots. That will help. It's no guarantee that it's going to stop you from catching it, but it will stop you hopefully from going into the hospital. Now, if you have a lot of underlying conditions, it still may you still may go to the hospital. But we're begging, we're pleading with people. And listen, stop listening to all this crazy stuff that people are saying about that's on Facebook and on social media and on the internet talking about they putting chips in you and all this kind of stuff. It just doesn't make sense. Some of them won't get the shot, but they taking this medicine for animals and poisoning themselves. It just don't make sense to me. But we have 94% of the people that's tested positive in Etowah County have the Delta variant. Let me say that again, 94%. Okay. We're
94%
at
of people what?
Etowah County is a hot spot. It's a hot spot.
You say you
Whole
have
county.
94% of the people what?
They have the Delta variant.
Variant.
The
In
Delta.
the hospital?
No. There's test positive, period. Whether they're in the hospital or not.
So
Here in
you ask,
Etowah County?
In Etowah County. The ones that have tested and the ones that are positive, of those cases, 94% has the variant Delta.
they have the Delta variant.
So 29.9% of the people taking the test are coming back positive. Might as well round that up and say 30%. We've had 410 new cases in the last 7 days. Okay, we're up to 382 deaths. If you remember last week, we was at 377. So that's increased also. The fire department, their numbers came down just a little bit because they had 30, they ran 30 COVID patients last week. This week they ran 25. So our school system, the Gaston City school system, now we have 82 cases, 7 teachers. And out of that 82, 22 had it before school started, so they didn't go to school. So we have 60 cases since school have started.
In 12 out of 12 schools in the system,
Mm-hmm.
we have
Yep. And then say that again.
out of 12 schools, we have how many cases?
We have 82 cases. That's including students and teachers. 7 teachers. So the numbers are going up. If you remember last week, we was on that 41 students. And we have a mask mandate. So the Taylor school system, they have 9 cases. Last week they had 9 cases, and I didn't have that information last week, so I didn't give that. But this week they have 11 positive cases. That's students and teachers, and they only have 3 schools. So let's see. I believe that's all that I have. But I gave the wrong information on the vaccinate Gaston. We will draw 4 times, not 2. I had said we was going to draw twice, but it's going to be 4 times for $5,000.
Okay.
So that's good.
He's drawing twice. That's you're gonna do it 2 times.
Yeah, you do it 4 times altogether
Right.
instead of 2. First it said 2. We just got our communication wrong. But I had a meeting with them yesterday, and they said it was going to be 4. They'll be drawing 4 times for
From my
$5,000.
understanding, I've had some people. Again, we was talking about last week about going to the CVS.
Right.
And, they wasn't on the list. There were some people who went up to the city to get the sheet to try to get it filled out, and they was not issued a sheet from the city. They wouldn't issue one.
Right. Well, yeah, I talked to them about that also, and they said if they go to the wrong pharmacist because it's on our website and all, and we put the information out, that they wouldn't honor it. They said it wouldn't be fair to honor it. So,
What?
Yeah.
What they mean wouldn't be fair to honor it?
Well, they just won't do it. I'll put it that way.
Who is they?
The people that's in charge that's running things now.
Who is that?
That is our finance director, which is Lisa Rosser. You got the personnel director, which is Carrie Payne, and you got Nick Hall, the person that's
I
running, that's
play
planning, over
basketball.
planning. Right. So, we had a meeting yesterday about some other things, and that was brought up. So,
Well, you tell him I got a community who's gonna rise up against all of that.
yeah.
Real talk.
But you have to cut it off somewhere, Rev. You know, you
Listen,
you really do.
okay, Councilman. We getting people vaccinated by
That's
any
true.
means necessary. We're
Absolutely.
trying to save lives. Am I?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's all we want to do. So if
Right.
they at least going to get the vaccination,
Mm-hmm.
and, it's just like you give somebody half point for
Right.
signing their name, they get 5 points on the test.
Uh huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. But see, I tell you
Saying,
another problem. Another problem we having is some people had one shot before this program started, and then they get their second shot after the program started. And I had a call today, matter of fact, and the lady thought she should get $50 since she got one shot, but they wouldn't do that either.
well, these people have proof that they didn't get the vaccination shot one until this was listed. They didn't know.
Right. Okay, we get you another one. Okay. Yeah, that's true. So,
Okay.
but we will
Well,
we will still talk about it and address it. But as of now, they're saying no.
But tell them I got a media of some people in Etowah County that gas that has that is upset about it.
Uh huh.
We might have to come up there on Tuesday and shout at y'all.
Come on up there. We need you up there. I've been trying to get people to come forever. Come. We
Huh?
need you. We need to support, and we need you to come with your complaints.
Okay.
That's the only way they're gonna listen.
All right. Do you have
Uh,
anything else for us?
oh no! At our job fair, we had Quality Life came and gave shots, and we had 10 people to get vaccinated over at the venue on Tuesday.
Okay.
So and then I think we had 28 last Saturday when we did the Hispanic reach out.
I
So
saw some of those photos. Well,
right, so it's going good.
I'm
The
about to, I'm gonna
numbers
go
are up.
ahead and kick you off for a real talk because look like you losing the bout with your granddaughter.
Yes, I
She
am.
whooping you, dog. So
Okay,
we will let
thank
you
y'all.
finish
Y'all
to
have a good night.
business.
All right,
Thanks
thank you.
for the update.
All right, appreciate it.
thank you.
Amen. Now we I said amen. Okay,
Every time,
so we
every
thank
time, you just got the church in you. You just
I can't help
automatically,
it when you say
amen.
it's what happened. I'm sorry. Amen. So that was the noise in the background. Mr. Thomas Worthy, Councilman District 3, came on and gave us our COVID update. He's actually tending to the grandbaby, and we appreciate him sacrificing his time to do that and continue to try to fight the good fight. Listen, comment, tag in anybody you would like to tag in, type in to the comments to make sure that the notification comes up where they can join us on Real Talk. We're on Facebook Live, Z Andre Huff page, as well as YouTube, the Z Andre Huff YouTube channel. Like and subscribe and share that with any and everyone. You're welcome to comment. We got a lot to talk about today, Bishop. A lot to talk about. First, let's talk about the mandate or the requirement for the kids to wear the students to wear their masks when they return back to school. And here's the problem. Parents are attempting to sue the district all because they feel like, first of all, it's taking away their rights and said that it's causing them not to be socially. Those are some things that's mentioned in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, as well as in Atlanta. Um, and it's for their children's own good. But it's always people who are looking for an opportunity to gain a dollar. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, my first thing is, and I think even more so as we address some things tonight, we will see how political this whole situation is. Number one, and then number two, it is it concerns me the misinformation that we have. We have misinformation. We are not well informed as to what we're saying, what some people are saying. They're not informed because, and it's so political now. It's so political. It's very political. Like we said on last week, the mask, the vaccination. Um, it's very political. But what I will say is that the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. I said last week, I said again this week. The proof is in the pudding. And you have some parents who really feel that it is infringing on their right for their children to have to wear that mask to school. Now, what I do know in some places of Florida, what they've done in order to get around the mandates of the governor, the things that the governor has set in line, what they are doing is making the mask a part of the dress code. So there are ways that they're getting around it. And I think at the end of the day, what they're trying to do is keep uh, children safe. And not only keep children safe, but you have those children who are in school. If they contract COVID at school, where do they go? They go home. And here is the thing about children contracting COVID. It's not like if an adult gets COVID, they can go and quarantine by themselves. You know what I'm saying? If they don't, children need caregivers. Somebody has got to be there to take care of those children. So it's sad the direction that is going in. And you're right, some parents are choosing, well, I know that they have threatened, and a lot of times you think your threat is going to go somewhere, but they have threatened to sue. They threatened to come against those districts because they are finding a way to go around those governors and put those mandates in place. Because really now, Florida's numbers are very bad. Florida's numbers are very bad. So, but they're finding a way to go around the governor and put those mandates in place for the safety of the schools. And just like Councilman Worthy was reporting on our county, our city, even if the children are there, we got staff people who are coming down with COVID. So, you can't teach children if there are no teachers there and staff to take care of the children being there. So, it's sad, but it's where we are. And I hate that some parents are choosing to make that fight and not for the overall good of the system, especially the medical system, the children and the staff and all. I want to make one point on this, and I said this to a couple of people earlier, couple 2 or 3 days ago. This is so much deeper than COVID. Even with the report that Councilman Worthy came in with, here is the thing: our medical systems are being strained. So if every bed is full, there are no ventilators, there's no this, you have nurses. I heard a report today that nurses and doctors are leaving the medical field because they're just completely drained.
Yeah.
So they are leaving the medical field. And here is the thing. When that starts to happen, what happens when there is a major car wreck? Where are you gonna go? surgeries, people who have recently been diagnosed with cancer or other uh, things in their bodies, they cannot get the attention that they need because everything is being exhausted by COVID-19.
Yeah.
So you have people who are losing their lives because the medical system is strained, because they're strained to the max. And yeah, you may say, well, we may say, well, some of those people are not being vaccinated, but they have to be living or behaving in a way that they're not coming down positive with with COVID. It's just so much deeper now than COVID. Now, here is one thing we haven't mentioned. The FDA did give full approval of the Pfizer vaccination. So I think we will see an increase for some of those people who were apprehensive because those vaccinations had not received full approval from the FDA. So hopefully those numbers will improve now that we do have. Pfizer is the only one that has full approval from the FDA.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that settles a lot with those who are saying, I'm not taking anything that haven't been FDA approved, pretty
Right.
much eliminating excuses. Laura Bowley says if they research the numbers regarding how many new cases are of young people rather than older people, they may have a change of heart. As of Tuesday, Birmingham Children's Hospital has 12 children, with 6 of those children on ventilators. All they have to do is Google the numbers. Here's what Noretta said. Hardy, COVID-19 and its Delta variant is a respiratory illness. Masks are a good way to guard against particles in the air that we cannot see. Maybe there should not be a mandate, but a strong recommendation. They That way parents are allowed to make the choice for their children regarding the mask, and the students are not penalized for not wearing the mask. But I understand where Miss Hardy is going with that, but that gives them choice and it put other people at risk. I don't know if that was you that made this statement, but someone made a statement around me and said, when I take the shot, I'm protecting me against you, and when you take it, you protecting you against me. I think that someone, I can't remember who made that statement. Did you make that statement?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
But I'm protecting you against me when I take the shot. When you take the shot, you protecting yourself against, you know. In other words, you when you take the shot, you protecting me, and when I take the shot, I'm protecting you. You know.
Well, the shot is protecting us, it's protecting yourself. The mask, however, is making sure that you are not infected nor infecting uh somebody else. So um I think if we can drop the partisanship of it, the how we have politicized it. I think if we can drop that and go for the common goal here is to stop the spread and the mutating of the virus and to keep the hospitalizations down.
You know
We've got to find a common place. We got to find
that
a common place.
bipartisans that you talking about. Um, I actually saw it uh, at a bigger level most recently. What you was talking about. Had an opportunity to look at Fox News,
Uh-huh.
and they had the Lieutenant Governor of Texas, Mr. Dan Patrick, and I'm gonna say Mr. Dan Patrick, even
Well,
though
he's the lieutenant governor. He's
well,
the governor. He's the lieutenant governor of
all right,
Texas.
Lieutenant Governor. Here's what he says. He claimed that African Americans were to blame for every increasing wave of the coronavirus. Every increasing wave of the coronavirus. He also says the Democrats. He said the last time I checked, over 90% of them vote for Democrats, Patrick said, adding that it's up to Democrats and Republicans.
He said the last time I checked, over 90%
I don't know what you're doing.
of them
That's
vote
me.
for Democrats, Patrick said, adding that it's up to.
Go ahead.
Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Like you said, it's a bipartisan.
Well,
They blaming everything on the Democrats. But here's what facts are concerning what he said. Only 13% of African Americans is in the total population of the group of unvaccinated people in Texas. And so if they 13% is spreading it, they get on Fox News and they bash Democrats and they bash like you say, the black and brown people.
well, first of all, Fox News, since the presidency of Donald Trump, they report are what's the word I'm looking for? They are pro Trump and pro Republican. So they lean toward the Republicans and that they really are not pro Democrat or whatever. Here's the thing about Texas too, the state of Texas. The African American population is less than 20% in that state compared to the white population. So they can't be the reason for the large number of positive cases, because the population there of black people is small. But here again, if you politicicize it, then that's what's going to happen. You're going to make statements that make it look like, because one of the things he said is that the majority of those people who were testing positive, his information wasn't accurate. He said they were Democrats.
You tried to pull back that statement, don't you?
Right, yeah. But now here's the thing too. And I'm not justifying it, but in a way I guess I am justifying it, because black people really have some room to be apprehensive about taking the vaccination. With all due respect, we have legitimate reasons for being apprehensive. We have legitimate reasons for being slow to get in that line, because we have been used for guinea pigs and tested and had bad things to happen to us because of that. So it's legitimate. But if you can do like Patrick did, in the sense that he made it negative, shed that dark light over the Democrats. That's what that's the ultimate goal, is to make it look like Democrats, because we have made it so we politicized it. So yeah. And it's that's why I think we have to educate our people about the vaccination. We have to educate. And then as we educate people, just like shout out to those nonprofits, Drake Kirkpatrick's Foundation, some of the Greek organizations, the Lambda Eta Omega here, that have been doing things to get into those minority communities, number one. And then number two, when we get into those communities, we've got to educate, and we've got to make resources available for the vaccination and push wearing the mask and all. And so that's one of the, that's what we have to do. We've got to educate our people because we have just cause for feeling the way that we do. But he tried to shed that dark light over the Democrats by saying that the reason their numbers are so high and the COVID positive rate is so high is because it's because of African Americans.
Yeah. You know, it surprised me, Bishop, that, you know, Trump, and we have someone on here who made this statement. I was just about to mention that. Trump did a rally in Coleman and encouraged them to take the vaccine. They booed him. He and his entire family is vaccinated. And he made that statement there. He said, I took the vaccination. They did boo him. But it shocked me, he as a Republican who said that this was a hoax and this wasn't real, that he would even make that public statement, because regardless, it's just some things that Republicans will refuse to say because to protect themselves in the party versus just being honest and saying, and you would think that by them being loving him so much, anything he say, the influence that he has, uh, will cause other people to want to unite and join with him. But they booed him.
Well, here's the problem. First of all, with the statement, with Trump making that statement at the rally. Let's go back. When Trump was in office, he got the vaccination unbeknown to anyone.
Right.
No one knew that he had been vaccinated. So you have to look at the last 4 years of really talking out of both sides of your mouth and saying things based on where you were. Because in that rally, do you have that clip? Do you have that clip of the rally?
I don't.
Okay.
I started to bring it, but I left.
In that rally, when he made the statement about the vaccination, as fast as he made it, he shared negativity on it by saying, "But it's your choice." So as fast as he
would you
out
take
there,
that as negative though?
huh?
Would you take that as negative?
Yes, because as fast as he was telling them he was pushing the vaccination, he went against it as well. He put a negative light on it by saying, "But it's your choice." Or he didn't spend as much time encouraging the people to take it as he did letting them know you don't have to take it.
Well, you know, he said you do what you want to do, pretty much.
Right.
It's your choice, like you said. And, you know, pretty much that's where we have gotten. Because, and I'm not defending Trump because I am not a Trump supporter. God knows I'm not. But it gets frustrating trying to encourage people, and they keep coming at you with all different angles of why they don't want to take it. You know, you and I actually have experienced that. But we do want people to survive this. We say get the vaccination, but you got a lot of people who you might as well just don't even go down that road with them because they're going to come in with every idea, every angle. So I tell people, I'm gonna tell you about me. I tell people when they come to me, why, well, I'm gonna take it for you. Why did you take a look? You do what you want to do with your body. I'm gonna do what I want to do with my body. If you want to gamble, you go ahead and gamble. I'm not gambling. Not like that. So
Right.
so it's pretty much it's your choice. It's your body. You do what you want to do with yours. I'm gonna do what I want to do with mine. You know, uh, I think he bagged up because of the booze that came his way. He saw it wasn't going to be popular. And Trump, a type of person who like popularity, that everybody yes to everything he say. He need
Right.
yes people. So he bagged up on it.
Right. And that's the whole thing. That's why I said it depends on with him where he is. If they had started applying or whatever, he would have gone on with it. But because they didn't,
Right.
he went the other way. He went the other way. But I think what we need to push, and I think what I want to say to those who are viewing tonight, stay in the ears of your family and your friends. Keep encouraging, keep encouraging. I'll say it again. Keep encouraging your family and your friends to take the vaccination. Because we already said most of those people, when they get to the hospital and they that ventilator is the next step, or they're on their way to the hospital, the first question is it too late? Can I have the vaccination now? It's too late then. So let's continue to encourage, stay in the ears of your family and your friends, number one, and realize that this is so much deeper now than COVID-19. You got patients who need treatments, whether it's for cancer or any other thing that's going on. You got people who need surgery, whether they are uh, abrasive or not. These things are going to be halted. In some places, they have already been halted because of the resurging of COVID-19 and that Delta variant. So let's push through all these layers of partisanship and all these layers of politicizing this thing, and let's find that common place that if we get vaccinated, if we wear our masks, that what's going to happen, we're going to stop the mutating of the virus, we're going to limit the transmission of the virus, and that's what we want to do. We want to limit all of that and keep people out of the hospital.
Amen. Keep people out
Out of
there.
the hospital.
And y'all heard the COVID update from Thomas Worthy. And I begged him to give me some good news, but he didn't have any good news um, to give us. Now, Loretta said people have the right to choose.
Right.
Um, Alexandra Marbury, people do have the right to choose, but when you are affected, please do not expect doctors, nurses, public health experts to perform miracles, right?
Well,
Hospitals, clinics are overburdened. Spot on.
let me ask this question. Let me ask this question. Let me ask this question. Because I this is what I see happening because I think it is being noised in some places. What do we I think too, if the mandate ever comes down, that like when you go into some of the grocery stores, some of the convenience stores, even restaurants, you know how some restaurants you have to have like a suit jacket on. It's like a supper nightclub or one of the
Some type of
higher star restaurants. You
yeah.
have to have a dinner jacket on. You go into some of these convenience stores and grocery stores, they'll tell you no service without a shirt and shoes. I think that those are the things that we're going to start to see when it comes to this vaccination and to COVID and all of that. It's just like when you with school, um, daycares and all. Before your children come, you have to show their immunization sheet, and it has to be up to date. And I think that those are some of the things that we may see come into play. Um, I think that those are the things. That's what I feel. I think that those are some of the things that we're going to see come into play. But it's here, and we just got to keep pushing.
Yeah,
And we do live in the great United States of America, uh, home of the land of the free, home of the brave, whatever it is, and we do have the right to choose. And so all we can do is put the information out there and continue to be that voice in the ear, maybe encouraging. And the statement was made, people have the freedom of choice. But here again, when you get to that hospital, it's too late to holler vaccination in. You got to really just go through the process. I'm going to say one more thing, Pastor, and then if we move on, fine. Here's the thing that I've noticed. COVID doesn't really affect, you really don't know how COVID is going to affect one person to the next person. You really don't know. It affects everybody in a different way. There's some people that I know have had COVID, and it wasn't a real bad case, but they knew they didn't have just the common flu. They knew they just didn't have just the common cold. So I'm encouraging you, get vaccinated. I'm encouraging you to wear your mask, and I'm encouraging you to also keep the faith.
Yeah. Listen, I had a conversation with a guy at work, and he want to show me this doctor that agreed with his opinion or his theory. And I asked him something, and I want to say the same thing to those that are listening. You know, when I study the word, and I know this is not Bible study, but I'm using it for an example. When I study the word, I look at more than one commentary. I look at more than one commentary because I need to see if four commentaries that I'm looking at are pretty much saying the same thing. Don't just look for a doctor to agree with your theory and then you want to run and tell everybody, hey, see, I told you, I told you this, I told you that, I told you that that shot ain't no good, it don't work. You know what I'm saying? And I asked him, I said, well, how many other doctors did you look at? Can you find other doctors to coincide? I said, just like Fox News, people look at Fox News because they want to look at something that agree with them. But then people look at CNN because they want something to agree. All of them are biased. They
Right.
have CNN Democratic. They gonna go with what pretty much what Biden and then going with, and then Fox News is pro Trump. I mean, let's be real about it. If you look at it, that's what you're gonna get. You don't hardly see. You're not gonna see Fox News bash Trump. And I don't see too many times where CNN is going to bash Biden.
Well,
And you look at it a little bit more than me. But
yeah.
if you're going to give out information, make sure it's true information and not so much agree with you and what you are saying. Because he wanted to send a link to me. I didn't want it. I didn't want to look at it. Because, like I said, show me some more. You know, don't tell me just the ones that agree with you. I mean, look at other doctors. It just comes down to, do you want to live or die? Get vaccinated. Absolutely not.
That was kind of our statement last week.
Yeah,
To be or not to be,
yeah,
to live or not to live. That was kind of the statement that we used on last week. Now, and I think it's good just to even prove your point with that. And I would rather allow me to say it this way: when it comes to Fox News, CNN, some of the other news networks, the thing is that I believe CNN and some of these other networks report closer to the truth of what's going on and are not necessarily biased to Democrats or Republicans, because their questioning and the information that they report puts Biden in the hot seat as well. But it's good that, because sometimes I do go over and look at ABC just to see what they're saying about the situations that's different than some of the other news outlets. So I agree with you wholeheartedly that there are all these resources out here, so we have to make sure that our information is well rounded and that the information that we are receiving is not coming from a biased place. So I think that's a very good statement and observation.
Thank you, Bishop.
Observation there,
Thank
Reverend.
you, Bishop T. You have Bishop T and Pastor Z. We're right here on Real Talk. We come your way every Wednesday around the 6:15. Just depends on if our wardrobe is ready and we're ready to go. The 6:15 time frame. But you can catch us on Facebook Live, the Andre Huff page, Tanya Lathan page, or you can go to YouTube. That's right. If you don't like Facebook, go to YouTube, and there you can go look up Z Andre Huff, our YouTube channel, like and subscribe. We welcome your comments at all times. Welcome your comments. Why are you covering your face? See, you remind me of the next segment we're about to bring up, the foolery. You are with the foolery, ladies and gentlemen. We have a new segment, and what we want to do with Real Talk, we want to show the foolery of the week. And so let's get ready for the foolery of the week.
Foolery 101.
That's right, foolery 101. A lot of y'all been kind of engaging in this foolery. Everybody that's in the hospital are not COVID patients. Check out this foolery, y'all. All right. Listen. They said the ICU unit is not just filled with COVID patients. Hey, y'all, they say it's on these folks that's falling off these crates. I'm glad you like it, Miss Marbury. I went to school with your mom, grew up with your mom. Glad you like it.
Listen,
I'm with you, Tara. Yeah,
I do not know. I kind of glanced at Facebook earlier today. Or was it yesterday? Dion Henderson has been a guest on our show, and he was making comments about. Now I know what he was talking about.
Yeah, that's the foolery.
He was making some comments about
that is actually
the crates
hurting folk. They hurting themselves. It's crazy. They are hurting themselves. I don't know who come up with it, but it's funny. But you know what? Did you see the sister stepping in the heels? She actually was able to do it with heels on. I mean, you know, I got to give it to the black and brown people. They are well balanced. Well balanced.
I don't know where you're going with that right there.
Well, we got rhythm and we have balance.
Okay.
You get it?
Okay, got balance from because we're talking about the crates. Okay. Okay.
All right. Well, don't do that. You know, I'm about to ban your doggone cheerleader off of here. Me too, Bishop. Nah, I know. I'm,
It's just that, okay, this is the thing. Dion made statements on his Facebook
what's up,
page.
brother? What's up, brother? Chris Erskine's Birmingham, Alabama. My big brother. Good to see you, man. Dr. Chris Erskine, author and pastor. That's my friend. You were saying?
Dion Henderson put statements on his Facebook page like, we walk by crates and not by sight. Activate your crate faith. Good morning, church. Then he put, never will a crate cry out in my place. Woo. Good night, church. That was good night. A lot of his comments have been centered around the crate. I just didn't know what. I was like, I knew it had to be something. And then when we talk, I know now. That's all she's saying.
You good? Y'all know now? Okay. So, listen, we got some more foolery. Got some more foolery. And I you know, we got some more foolery. And make sure you pay close attention to the first thing you see on this video. There's going to be a warning, okay? So you know, there's going to be some material about to be seen. That yeah. Okay. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Take a look at the foolery.
She hit him first. Yeah, she slapped him in his face.
Okay, Tanya, Bishop T, let's talk. Now, I'm gonna say this. I prayed when God gave me children to give me my boys first and then my daughters. And in every case, God did that for me. He gave me Dre, then he gave me Sharika, then he gave me Jalen, I have Sydney, and I have Zoe. And I always wanted my boys to protect their sisters. Um, um, now there was times when Sharika pushed, she pushed Dre buttons. And there's been times when Zoe, Sydney probably have pushed Jalen's and Dre buttons. And they really want to lay hands on them, but they know daddy don't play that. I never saw my daddy hit my mom. I don't believe in hitting women. And I didn't want my sons putting their hands on their sisters, because you start hitting your sister, you start hitting your girlfriend, you start hitting your wife. Okay. But one thing I always did when they provoked it them because they knew they could run to daddy, I would always get on. I would always tell Dre and Jalen, don't touch him. I'll take care of him. And I will always tell my daughters, you don't want nobody touching you, don't you put your hands on them. And they would get in trouble with me. But Dre and Jalen knew that they was their protectors. Looking at this man, um, apparently he has some morals, because that lady slapped him. He told her don't touch him. There was an argument between him and her boyfriend. who sat there. She gets up. She's actually shouting at the boyfriend, her own boyfriend. And the African American brother say something to the young man, and she turns around and starts jumping in his face, and he was like, "Don't touch me," and she slaps him. Well, he reacts. He didn't hit her, but when the boyfriend decided he wanted to get up and be Superman, he got knocked out. Okay. Only reason he stopped hitting the guy is because the female jumped in front of him. So I'd take my hats off to him for that. He was only defending himself. And then you hear the people in the background said she hit him first because other people that came there, they didn't come to the rescue. They came to pretty much try to get him to stop and make him exit the game. But they weren't coming in to fight because I think they saw what took place.
And see, here is my issue with that whole thing. I feel like immediately when the other people showed up, they showed up not in defense of this black man.
Oh
I
no,
feel like that's why the person was hollering. She slapped him first. He was defending himself. In turn, he's defending himself well. That's what everybody throwing blows at him. He's defending himself. When other people rush in, they rush in immediately as though he is the attacker. When ultimately he is the victim who is offending himself. How many times do we see that when it comes to a situation where there's an African man, especially? The police show up and they automatically feel like that black and brown person is
the aggressor.
The aggressor when they are the victims. That's what I see.
Yeah.
That's what I see. And so here it is. 90% of the time, we are defending ourselves. My mama told me,
look what your auntie said.
Don't believe in men hitting a woman as long as she acts like a lady. Well, okay. Well, I know my mama told me, if you don't want to be hit, don't you hit.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. We had a conversation about, and let me say this. I won't say what the situation was, but I will say this. She had a situation in high school that she knows. She taught me, if you don't want to be hit, don't you hit. And here it is. I don't know. Foolery. Because clearly he was in, you say the conversation was, the argument was between him and the boyfriend, and she jumped in.
But she would tell, she actually, it looks like, and we'll look at that in a minute, but I want to see what Dr. Erskine says. She got him knocked out in my Smokey from Friday voice. But she was, I think they was into it. And she was actually telling him to shut up, telling her own boyfriend to shut up. But where she made a grave mistake was turning around and putting her hands on him. I don't know what took place. And they still, from my understanding, trying to find out what was actually taking place. But foolery, y'all. And we're seeing in sports events before, especially professional sports events. I just saw, you get a chance, I want you all to go and look on Netflix at Malice in the Palace. Malice in the Palace. And this is it's actually the NBA sports event that took place between the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers, with Ron Artest, Jermaine O'Neal, Steven Jackson, and Ben Wallace. And then the fans really provoked it by throwing beer on a cup of beer on run our test, and he immediately ran up in the stands, and then they started running on the floor and everything. It got bad.
Right? She like all the thank you, Miss Treadwell. That's the problem. She's a Karen. And they show up everywhere. They show up in the parks. They show up in restaurants. They show up in neighborhoods, and they speak out of turn. They act out of turn, and they cause all kind of havoc. I agree. She's a Karen.
Yeah.
I also agree with Lacey Robinson. You know, maybe the sister in the crowd should have taken care of the lady.
Yeah. I don't know where she come from actually. If she was with him or not, I don't know. But um, that's the type of stuff that is taking place in our world. We try to keep you informed of what's going on, not only in the city but also in the world. Bishop, I saw on CNN where they was talking about it's a possibility there may be a booster shot coming
Well,
out,
it's here.
and why they talking about the booster shot? Fox News is actually dragging, biting them in the mud because he's not addressing what's going on over in Afghanistan. Talk to us.
Well, let me say this before we talk about Afghanistan. There is a booster shot. The booster shot is available. The booster shot is already available. I think you take it 8 months after your second shot, so it's already available. If I'm not mistaken, I believe I saw someone. It was available yesterday, or was made available yesterday, or whatever. But I think it is available, and it's probably available here because I think I saw somebody post their vaccination card with that booster shot on them. Now, Pastor, I have to try to stay in a certain place when we talk about Fox News, because Fox News is uh, very biased, very biased. They don't report news; they report news a certain way, and so now I think that we will all agree Afghanistan, the situation in Afghanistan is it's one that it's touchy because it is a 20-year long war that the actual negotiations for pulling out of Afghanistan started with the Trump administration. And so I've been a little fatigued myself with even how CNN has betrayed it because in the beginning they were not getting this administration was not getting Americans as well as allies of America out in a timely fashion and enough. But I think the last report that I heard that some 19,000 um, Americans and allies had been were flown out in the last 24 hours. So it has picked, and I think yesterday it may have been 24,000. So it has picked up a great deal. Um, there was a poll that came out maybe 2 or 3 days ago, a few days ago, because it is so um it is in that balance to where you got people who feel like we should have come out, but we didn't come out the right way. But there was a poll that showed 60 something percent of Americans agreed with us pulling out of Afghanistan. Now it is the issue of how it was done and actually the time frame, which is August, the deadline, August the 31st, for having those Americans and those allies out, as well as the military out by August the 31st. So that's why I said on last week, our prayers are with Biden and other world leaders because the Taliban You've got the Taliban, and then you have the group ISIS.
Right.
So ISIS is not Taliban. The Taliban, from what's being reported, there are already some things that are happening, but there's that group. It's like the Taliban is also divided amongst themselves. You've got that more radical group, then you've got that group that's really trying to pull it in and be set up a government and run things in a way that they are a part of the world government. So I have an opinion about that whole pull out or whatever, because I think within 9 days the Afghanistan army and the government, president and all, ran away. They just left. And so it makes me wonder what we were doing for 20 years in building that Afghanistan army. But I just pray that we will pray for our president and for other world leaders as that situation unfolds and as we fastly approach the August 31st deadline, and that there will just be peace. That there will just be peace, and you understand that the Taliban 20 years ago was not for women progressing and it being educated and all. There are a number of things that they were against. And so there are people who are still there who are fearing for their lives because they have helped. They've been interpreters, they're journalists. They have helped the United States over these last 20 years. And so they do fear for their lives. So I just pray that everybody that needs to come out gets out, and that it will not be a bloodshed situation. Is what I pray for. I want to make this statement, Pastor, and for 8 years Barack Obama was in the White House. And for 8 years that Barack Obama was in the White House, our ministry prayed for Obama regularly. We prayed for him regularly. Then when Trump, I'm not a Trump supporter. When Trump won the election, beat Hillary Clinton, you can't say, oh, well, I'm not going to pray for the president because he's not my president. I didn't vote for him. That sound familiar?
Yeah.
When you get called to a church, people tell you quit. Well, I didn't vote for him or whatever. But still, we have a responsibility to continue to pray. And you said it's not Bible study, and I'm not making it Bible study, but we have a responsibility to pray. The Bible teaches us to pray without ceasing. So whoever is in that White House, we have to pray for our leader. We have to pray for our leaders, our mayors, our governors, our councilmen, our commissioners, our president, senators, congressmen. We have to pray. And just like now, Biden is in the White House, Biden and Harris, we have to pray. And I say that because I was somewhat disturbed after our show last week. I was somewhat disturbed. Some of those comments, some of my feelings, I will not speak. But I was disturbed because when we look at the vaccination, we look at the mask, and then I think I had you to put a clip up with praying hands. I said to some people, these are all layers of protection. When you look at the vaccination, that's a layer of protection. When you look at the mask, that's a layer of protection. When you look at the booster shot, that's a layer of protection. When you are a person of faith, that is also your protection. Your faith is your relationship with God. You know, as a person of faith, there's not anything that I do that I don't involve God in. You know, so it shouldn't be a question of, if I'm a person of faith, am I praying to God? Before we went and took the vaccination, we prayed. But I'm saying to us, take all of these layers are important in us getting to where we need to be. Every last one of them. Especially your faith. Because God has all power. It's not by power nor by might, but by the Spirit of the Lord. We depend, our trust, our hope, our faith is in God. Our trust, our hope, and faith is not in the government. It's not in the vaccination. Just like we get prescribed medications all the time. My hope, my trust, my faith is not it just in that medication. My hope, my trust, and faith is in God. It's in God. That this medication, God, that you will heal my body, that this medication will do what it's supposed to do. He has given people the wisdom, the knowledge to be doctors, to look at scientists, to look at our cases and all. And so it's, you know, I think sometimes we get caught up in this fad of going on Facebook and saying we need to pray. Or we copy, and paste a prayer on our pages. But are we really praying? Are we really before God in this season praying? Take the vaccination, but don't stop praying. Wear the mask, but don't stop praying. Definitely, if you're not going to wear the mask and you're not going to take the vaccination, definitely don't stop praying. So I would that when we leave tonight, that we would continue, as I said on last week, to lift up our president, lift up our world leaders, because of the situation in Afghanistan. We know we have the earthquake situation in Haiti, and then just yesterday, here again, it's deeper. As my brother would say, it's deeper than COVID, because in some part of Tennessee, they had massive flooding, and some 20-something people are dead and another 20-something people missing. So now in that area, what about their medical system? What about their first responders that have to come away from COVID? Do they have the manpower to come away from COVID and deal with a natural disaster? Do you see what I'm saying? So, you know, we've got to get things under control, you know, for things that are happening that have nothing to do with COVID. Nothing to do with COVID. I talked too much tonight, didn't I?
No, you didn't.
You're going to call and tell me when it's over that I talked too much.
You know, I'll tell you right here.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, excuse me.
Hello.
But you did good.
I did good.
I'm proud of you. If you was in a church, somebody would probably stand on the wall and say, "Preach all of it."
Preach all of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
I do want to throw a plug in here since you.
Don't throw your plug in. Matter of fact,
That's all right. That's all right.
Make your final remarks that you would like to share with the people, because our time is
our time is up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Go ahead and make your final remarks.
I do want to put a plug in here. Those of you who don't have anything to do Sunday morning at 9:30. At 9:30, we will be ministering the word at Pastor Kirkpatrick's church, United Christian New Beginning. So if you don't have, did I say it wrong? Did I say it wrong?
United Christian New Beginning Ministries.
I left off ministries. At any rate, we will be there.
We doing church announcements now?
No, I said I want to.
Don't you say nothing to me about saying amen no more then. Since we're doing church announcement.
Thank everybody for being on the show tonight, sharing with us.
If y'all not doing anything Sunday morning,
no, don't you dare. Don't you dare jump in here.
Not to silence you. You know I can do it.
That's why I say it's not fair. You
Okay, if y'all not doing it, you silence. If y'all not doing anything Sunday morning at 9:30 in the morning, Sunday morning, please go and support my sister at my brother's church, Pastor Charles Kirkpatrick. Will be having Bishop Tanya Latham over to minister at 9:30 at United Christian New Beginning Ministries. I think I said that right. So y'all go and support my sister. 9:30 Sunday morning. Get up. You have time to get to your church as well. She won't hold you as long as she do on Real Talk. Okay, I'll let you talk again.
I don't have anything to say.
You in your feelings now.
Yes. Yes. I want we've got to get this situated so that I have control over those.
No.
Okay.
No.
At any rate, I have enjoyed the conversation tonight, Reverend Z. Andre Huff. I've enjoyed the conversation. Thank everybody for your comments. It is always awesome to share with you. So keep sharing Real Talk. Keep letting people know that we're here on Wednesdays, and we'll keep bringing those topics before you.
And listen, we're working on some new stuff. Y'all gonna see some new stuff coming your way with the Real Talk Studio. New stuff coming your way. We're gonna have guests in the studio, hopefully. But we're looking to improve, but we need your help. Listen, I need everybody that's on here to go on YouTube, the Andre Huff channel, like and subscribe. We're actually going to actually create a YouTube channel and a Facebook Live page as well for Real Talk. But in the meantime, sign in to YouTube, go to Z Andre Huff channel, like and subscribe. And every time we come on with Real Talk, you will get a alert. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone. We're here. We're joined together, my sister and I, trying to bring real, true information, and we're having the conversations that matter. Bishop?
I thought you were finna say something like, go tell your mama, go tell your daddy. You know that? Guess not.
We out.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.